Quick question for you. How many times have you said yes to something this week when deep down inside you wanted to say no? Welcome to We Are All Fine, and thank you for joining me, your host, Heidi Lester. And saying no shouldn't be so complicated, but for many of us, it comes with guilt, second guessing, and sometimes even resentment. In this episode, we're going to break down that simple, guilt free way that you can learn to start saying no. Every yes we give is also a no to something else. Have you ever thought about that? When you say yes to extra work, you might be saying no to you, to rest. And when you say yes to an obligation, you might be saying no to your own needs and priorities. Today, we're diving into the art of saying no without guilt and why it's one of the most powerful skills you can build. So let's roll the intro, make yourself comfortable, and you're all welcome. Let's start with that word guilt, that emotion. Now, why does that word no carry so much emotional weight? Often it's going to come from our people pleasing tendency because we're taught to be agreeable, to be helpful, to avoid that conflict. And sometimes I guess it's about the fear of missing out, the fear of letting someone else down, or the fear of being judged. And in many cases, we've tied our sense of worth to how much we give to others. But here's the reality, here's the truth. When we say yes, when you want to say no, it doesn't make you generous. It's going to make you feel more resentful. And that resentment often damages relationships more than an honest no ever could. Let me ask you this. How's it going to feel for you if I encourage you to frame the word no? Instead of seeing it as a rejection, what if you viewed it as a redirection, a way of guiding your time and energy towards what matters most to you? Saying no isn't about shutting someone out. It's about saying yes to your own well-being, your own priorities, and your own peace of mind. And imagine the difference it could make if every no wasn't laced with that guilt you carry now, but carried a sense of honesty and self respect. How would it feel to know that that no can be an act of kindness, both to yourself and to that other person? Because saying that no sets a clear expectation and keeps relationships grounded in truth. Now that feels more healthier. Learning to say no doesn't mean you're rude, unkind, or selfish. Wipe that. In fact, saying no with clarity and grace is one of the most respectful things you can do for yourself and for the other person. So, here's my simple 3 step process from my years as a psychotherapist that is going to make saying no for you easier and less guilt filled. Step 1 is about keeping it simple. Most people who struggle with saying no tend to talk themselves and overthink into mad circles of doubt and worry. So instead of saying the word no, they'll give the long explanations, they'll pile on all the excuses, or they'll try to soften the answer so much that it no longer smells or sounds like a no. And the problem in doing that is this, that over explaining invites pressure for you, which we're trying to get you away from. So the more detail you feel you have to give, the more room somebody has to come in and pick away at that and argue with you. So keep your responses short and clear. Simple as this. Try, no, I can't, or I won't be able to, or that's not going to work for me this time. There's no apology in there, is there? These are just gentle, reflective, direct responses back. It's going to feel a little blunt at first, I get that, but simplicity communicates confidence. And it also shows respect for your time, your boundaries, and the other person. You're giving them a clear, honest answer from that place of truth. Cut out all the nonsense, all the over explaining, straight to the point with kindness. Step 2, you can add a brief, kind explanation if you want to. But if saying no does feel a little harsh for you, I get that. You can soften it with a short, kind explanation. Now, notice I said the word short. This isn't about defending yourself or proving your reasons are valid. It's about being compassionate and clear. So, let me share some examples. You can say something like, I'm fully booked and don't have the time. That's all you need. It's still a no. Or you can try something like, I don't have the bandwidth to take this on right now. That's straight to the point and kind. Or I've already made a commitment that I've got something else to do. I need to honour that. Simple, to the point, and brief. See how each one of those is clear, kind, and final. There's still a no there. There's just not an open door to negotiate. And what we're trying to do is rid you of any guilt. Step 3, hold your ground. Here's where many of us trip up, me included, where we say no the once, but the other person just pushes back and back and back. And suddenly you feel cornered and you end up saying yes just to make that discomfort stop. This is where repetition is your friend. It's perfectly okay just to gently repeat yourself, even word for word. Think of it as putting up a boundary fence. The more consistent you are, the less likely someone is going to keep testing it. So phrases are going to work here. Try things like this. I've already given you my answer, or I'm sorry, that's not going to change anything, or yeah, okay, you can keep asking, but I'm still going to be saying no this time. The goal isn't to sound cold, but to show your calm consistency in your approach. You don't need to explain further. You've already done that. You've kept it simple, you've kept it fair, you've put some self compassion in there, and you're just repeating the answer that you want, that you have. If you are under pressure, I know some people are persistent. They push, they persuade, they're even going to try and guilt trip you because that's what they're used to doing. It's their language, it's the way they communicate, and they're going to used to having that yes back from you. But instead of caving this time, just give yourself a little bit of time to breathe. And if what we've talked about isn't feeling quite ready or you can't quite say that yet, just soften up those phrases a little bit. You're just buying yourself a little bit of time if you're feeling the edges of that person's pressure. Don't forget you're practicing a new skill here. We're saying no without feeling the guilt and without listening to that people pleasing part of our personalities we've all developed along the way. This pause will buy you space to step away from the pressure and reconnect with your reasons for saying no. And once you've grounded yourself, it's way easier to respond with more confidence. Here's some extra tips for saying no without feeling guilt. Be honest. Don't over apologize. It's okay to say you're sorry if you can't attend or you can't help, but don't over apologize for protecting your own time. Anchor your no to your values. If your refusal aligns with something important, family time, rest, other commitments, you'll feel stronger and more confident in your decision. So, no, I can't do that will align with what you really do want to do instead. So, a quick recap. To say no and ease with grace and no guilt, keep it simple, be direct and concise, add a brief, kind explanation, but don't over justify. Hold your ground if you're pressed, and buy the time you need by offering alternatives only if you want to. Every no is always a yes to yourself, your energy, your priorities, and your peace of mind. Saying no isn't about pushing people away, it's about making space for what matters most, and that is you. I really hope this show has helped you, and you've now got the knowledge and the courage to start saying no for you for all the right reasons. Join me next week as we dive into the topic of self doubt, that little voice that makes you second guess yourself, replay the conversations in your head, or hold back from speaking up. We're going to explore why your self doubt shows up as it does, how it keeps you stuck with overthinking, and most importantly, how you can begin to trust yourself a little bit more. If you've ever wished you could quieten down that inner critic and feel more confident in your decisions, this episode is for you. Together, we'll look at simple, practical tips to stop second guessing yourself and start moving forward with clarity and confidence. So, this week, we're going to start saying no, and we're going to start putting the line in the sand and feeling okay and comfortable without over explaining ourselves. And next week, let's ramp that up a little bit and let's look at ways we can grow and improve our self doubt, our inner confidence. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today and listening to this episode of We Are All Fine, episode 32. If you've enjoyed it, it would mean the world to me if you hit follow so you never miss an episode. And if you'd like to support our show, take a moment to rate and review it on your favourite podcast app. Your feedback not only helps me, but it also helps more people find these conversations. And if you know someone who struggles with people pleasing, self doubt, or just needs a reminder that it's okay to be human, share this episode with them. You never know who might really need this today. Don't forget to connect with me on all the usual social media platforms, and I'll be sharing more tools and reflections in between these podcast episodes. We are all flawed, insecure, nervous, and emotional. But always remember, be yourself. You are no one else. And until next time, take it easy and keep all of those yeses for yourself. Finally, some important takeaways. The podcast is for informational use only and should not be used as a substitution for professional advice or for personal diagnosis. These opinions are personal and I do not guarantee the accuracy of such opinions or information. I'm not intending to create a counselling relationship with you, and you should always consult a qualified mental health professional with any concerns.